Oh, we got the point. You know what that means? Another episode of the Fish Podcast.
That's we're on. Yes. We're on. I was looking down at my gut and thinking I just was drinking a coffee and I'm feeling him a lot. It happened for the first time when I was in Seattle. I had a glass of wine. Don't judge me. I don't think the Fish crew judges because you're allowed to have a glass of wine.
Yeah, we talked to actually Dr. Oz and on the radio show, and we actually brought that up.
Yeah,
funny you bring that up, and he said stress is far worse for a baby.
Yeah.
Than a little glass of wine.
Yeah, I wasn't drinking because I was stressed, though. I was just drinking to have a glass of wine.
Yeah.
But no, for sure. I mean, I guess you definitely do feel kind of anxious here and there because you just sit there alone with your thoughts and you're like, is the baby okay? But it was so funny because we were in Seattle to visit a girlfriend of mine, a really close girlfriend of mine, Becca. I don't know if you know her. And I don't think you've met her before. But anyway, she had a baby this summer. And I haven't gotten to meet the baby, and she's one of my closest friends. So we're out there, and the night before we were going to get to hang out, we were just at the hotel bar. Like, we didn't know what to do, and Seattle was, Seattle's a little gray.
Yeah, gloomy quite a bit.
I was excited because I'm so ready for cooler weather. I think being pregnant, I'm just like, hey, you already saw my Christmas tree is like out here in the office, and JC's like, it's not even, it's technically October still, and we have a Christmas tree up.
I walked in and it's not just a Christmas tree. It's a monstrous Christmas tree. That thing is like, but that one, the center one in particular is probably 14 feet.
This is how the beauty business works. We're shooting, I got totally derailed, but we're shooting holiday this week. So just so y'all have context, we're shooting Christmas. We feel proud of ourselves because we're going to be done with content like before Halloween for the year.
Oh, so you could basically take the rest of the time off when it comes to those.
You would think, but no, but then we have to do so in December, we'll be doing January.
And then January, February, like Valentine's Day.
Well, we'll probably do that before Christmas.
Damn, having a business
and having a baby is hard.
A baby?
Oh, but that's what I was going to say. So we were drinking wine.
Oh, yeah.
Or I had a glass of wine. That was my first official glass of wine. I tried to have a sip of wine. And if y'all know me, or if you don't know me, red wine's the only thing I drink anymore. Unless I'm on vacation, you give me some sort of fruity drink. I only drink red wine. And even in 100-degree weather, I'm that person.
Let me ask you this. When you're ordering your first glass of wine.
While pregnant.
Yeah. And not just while pregnant, but also.
Visibly pregnant.
You're pregnant. You walk down the street, somebody's going to look over and be like, oh, look at that. Look at that cute baby bump.
Yeah.
So does the bartender look at you funny? Is there people at the bar? Do you think about that?
I don't know. I said something to Becca about it the next day because I said, do you get judged? And she goes, it's so funny because one time my girlfriend ordered and she was very pregnant and the bartender or waiter was like, I'm not serving you. You're pregnant, which is so fucked up, Yeah. It's like, well, if I'm damaging my baby, that's up to me, you don't get to tell me I don't get to do this. But I felt victimized because when I went to wash my hands in the bathroom, but no, I didn't notice any judgment. But I went to the bathroom and I was washing my hands. And the only sign in the bathroom, not COVID, and Seattle is very, you have to be vaccinated to go places
they're strict.
They're very strict. Yeah, you got to wear a mask everywhere in the hotel. You live in Texas, it's like the Wild West. They don't give a fuck. But they're very strict there. And so, there's nothing about COVID in the bathroom. There's nothing about masks, There's just a sign next to the sink that is drinking while pregnant is unsafe. And I was like, I felt so victimized because I was or attacked, because I'm like, wow.
Let me fix that sign because drinking in general
is unsafe.
Yeah. It's not just for anyone in particular. If you're going to drink, it could be unsafe. You could trip and fall because you get too drunk. You could drink and drive and you crash. That's bad.
Yeah. There's a great book out there for women if you're pregnant. I've been getting a ton of, I think a lot of people that listen to us or either have had babies, so they find baby stuff interesting. I thought people might find it really boring, but people have been very interested. But there's a really great book called Expecting Better by a girl named Emily something, if you just look that up. But she was an economist, and so she wanted data about pregnancy when they tell you not to drink or they tell you not to have caffeine. And so she actually did all this study over European studies and all these things that they do to really come up with the data to support it. Because yes, in America, the governing body over pregnant women still recommends no alcohol. But she discovered through all her studies and all the tests and everything they've run over all the years that it's absolutely totally fine to have as much as 2 glasses of wine every single day in your second and third trimester. Like that.
It wouldn't do any damage to the baby whatsoever.
Not at all. Crazy. Same with caffeine, that you could technically have almost 3 cups of caffeine or like 300 milligrams of caffeine a day. And I've been having, I don't have it every day, but I definitely have I have a cup of coffee almost every day. I've only had now 3 glasses of wine, but it was just funny because when we went back to the room that night, and I actually finished, I had like 3/4 of the glass. We went back to the room and I'm laying there and I started like really feeling something weird. And so like I pulled my pants down and my shirt up and my stomach just went like it was like the first time. I've been feeling weird flutters, but it was like the first time I really felt something. So friends, like he liked it. He liked that wine. Yeah.
I wish my mom would have done a glass of wine with me when she was pregnant, because my girl was smoking.
I know, so was my mom.
I was getting hotboxed in that womb.
So isn't that what's so crazy is how careful we are now with certain things we eat, or we're so scared and, don't eat like deli meat or like unpasteurized cheese. But my mom had 3 cigs a day. She told me she cut back. I'm like, oh, you had like 3 cigarettes the whole pregnancy? Okay, that's pretty good, Mom. She's like, no, like 3 a day. And soda and all this shit. And I was like, and I don't, as far as I know, and maybe y'all are hiding something from me, I don't think I have any birth defects. I mean, I'm not sure.
I don't think you do. I honestly have told my mom she's the reason I did not grow to be 6'5".
Be taller, maybe stunted. I did read that if a woman has too much caffeine, that you don't. It's not like with alcohol. It's not like fetal alcohol syndrome. You're not going to see like immediate issues. That it actually can be behavioral issues that you don't see till they're about 3 years old.
Like little a-holes.
Because you drank too much caffeine when the baby was in the womb. Yeah.
Here's the thing: most 3-year-olds are a-holes. And if you have a 3-year-old, if you've had one in the past, you're agreeing with me right now. I'm not trying to be rude to 3-year-olds. If you're listening, I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be listening. Yeah. There's an explicit warning on this. But yeah, I mean, that they call them 3-nagers for a reason.
Yeah.
Right. So
lots of attitude.
They call it developing personality.
Yeah.
They call it, but personality sucks, I guess.
Developing terrorists. Yeah. I went to a baby shower this weekend with Fran, and these were. I've had this realization that I think I'm in a place in my life that and this may be crazy to you. I think I'm like wanting to make some new friends, not like get rid of friends like that way, but I think with what I've gone through, or, then you have other friends that are just in like a different stage of their life, or they're way ahead of you with their kids, or they aren't ready to have kids yet. But yeah, I've started to kind of get in this vibe that I'm like, I think I'm ready to make some new
audition. You're gonna audition for friends?
No.
Yes,
I'm
you are.
More organic.
That's what it's called. It's auditioning for friends. You're gonna meet people, and then you go out for one day or whatever. Maybe go to a baseball game or a hockey game, football game. See what it's like.
Yeah.
See how they interact. You probably want them about the same stage of life. Maybe a pregnant friend.
That's the thing. So at the baby shower, JC, you know me, and because I've known you for a long time, I've been to a lot of baby showers since I've lived in Texas, and we've known each other, and women that, a lot of you, or a lot of girls that I know that got married, had babies in their 20s. I've been to a lot of baby showers, and I've always been that one that was like drinking, single, and then there's like couples there, and I was so far off from having a baby that even though some of them were my friends, I didn't belong. Like and I'm sure there's a lot of women listening that you feel that way. You go to baby showers or you go to weddings and you just don't feel like you belong. Even though you may be happy in your current situation, you go to something like that, and frankly, you feel bad about yourself. Like you're like, ugh, I'm alone, even though you're fine. It's just, there's something about baby showers, and I don't think men probably feel this way, but women going to these things, it can make you feel kind of crummy, even if you're happy. And so for the first time in my life, I like enjoyed it.
You were all about it.
I was one of them, I was like one of these women.
I got that in my registry.
There were all these pregnant women, or not all, but it was a couple shower, which was cool because these are friends of friends and that I have only really met once. And so meeting these people, they were so great.
Yeah.
And one woman's due the same day that I am. And it's just so funny, to meet someone like that is that close with your experience. And I felt so comfortable. Everyone's like, sit down. Like grown men are bringing me water. They're like waiting on me hand and foot. And I'm like, wow, it's almost like you're being wooed.
Yeah,
by like a lot of men like that want, but they don't want to date you. They're just taking care of you because they also have pregnant wives or they respect the pregnant woman. And it was amazing. I had a blast. I ate croissants. It was a French theme. So I'm getting ready for Paris. I just sat there and ate food all over myself. Well, they had a crepe bar.
See, I'm telling you, you're gonna make all these friends that are about as pregnant as you are, maybe a month back, maybe a month ahead of you, and then you guys are gonna start going to play dates.
Yeah.
Those are gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even when the babies are not even walking or barely moving, maybe their eyes aren't even open, but you're going to be having play dates.
Yep.
You call it play date. You just lay them next to each other. You guys roll around together.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. And those are going to be your friends.
I like it though.
That's great.
And I get it because, I have a good girlfriend that I get so sad because I don't see her as much anymore.
No, that's fine.
Because she had 2 kids. And when I'm like, what is she doing? Has she made new friends? But I look and the only people she hangs out with for the most part are like people that live on her street or her family. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's because she lives on a street that there's a bunch of kids and it's just out of convenience. I mean, she likes them, I'm sure, but it's just an easy thing to be like, okay, my kid's going to go next door and play.
And here's the thing. It's not the end of a friendship with the other, my best buddies, at least here in town,
right.
Reggie and Paul.
Yeah.
A bad influence, Paul and Reggie.
Different stages of life.
Different. I have since gotten married and had kids. Reggie has gotten married and had a kid. Paul is Paul. He's still bad influence Paul. But we still see each other, not as often, right? You'll still see your friends. But it's hilarious when I go see Paul. I actually just saw him recently, a couple of weeks ago. I went down there and he goes, so how's Kason doing? Is he walking yet? I was like, bro, he's 9. He's time 9. Passes that fast where it's like, it is
9.
The interactions you have with your friends that are not in that where you're at in life are so funny. And we laughed about it and we had a good time. But I will be honest, it's different.
It's different.
It is different.
It's definitely, I'm sure it's different with people. I've always been really interested in kids, so I always feel like I tried to be a good friend when people had kids. Like I want to see them, I want to spend time, but it doesn't come naturally to a lot of people. And I definitely recognize that now, like being pregnant, I'm like, I bet you just don't feel as much of a connection with people that don't have children because they just don't get it. Because we don't get it. You don't get it when you don't have kids.
And that's totally fine. And it's like you wish that it turns into a whole thing where your friends become family members, like uncle, like my kids calling him uncle, blah, blah, blah. But I got to remember my friends live far away from me now. I live in the suburbs. Paul still lives in the city and he still can go out on the weekends and have fun. And if I go out, I'm dead by midnight. I can't, I got to go home. Cause I got kid activities the next day. So it completely just changes everything when it comes to that friendship, right? Where they try to acclimate. Your friends try to be good friends and try to do things during the day. But I'd be lying to you if I said, oh, it's the same friendship. It's not. Everything changes.
It was so nice to hear Fran. He was like being very loquacious about it, like very talkative. That's what that means. But he was like just bringing it up when we were on our way to the baby shower. And I don't know, I think he's feeling the same way. Granted, these were some of his friends that he used to hang out with a long time ago, but then they kind of grew apart because they got married or one of them had a kid and, life.
Now you come back together.
But so he said to me, he's like, I'm just at this place that I feel, which is so nice to hear considering he's my partner in this, he's so excited about being a dad, which I'm just thrilled about because I've always said I'm not the type of woman that wanted to have, let's face it, like a lot of men are like 20, 30% effort and like a woman really wants to have a kid, which is great. But I was never that woman that felt that pull so greatly that I was like, I'm fine, just give me a baby. No, I want like 50-50 or some days 60-40, whatever it is, I want like a lot of effort. But yeah, he's like, I just don't feel that like FOMO anymore. He's like, I'm so excited about just like us being able to have a holiday or go on vacation and have this little family. And it made me so happy to hear because honestly, I felt that way for like years. Like I think I felt that way since I was in my late 20s. I just didn't find the person to have a child with yet, but I haven't had FOMO in so fucking long. I don't care about anything.
I don't have FOMO, Jenna. I have JOMO now.
What is that?
Joy of missing out.
Joy of missing out.
Oh, it's the best.
I guess you have a different kind of FOMO. I'm sure, though, you want like more alone time sometimes because then you're like, there's always kids and stuff. But
here's the thing. I'll see pictures of people that went out on a Saturday, right? They'll post, they're partying at the club and the bottle service and the chicks with the shorts up their butt. I'm like, that looks uncomfortable at the club because you got mesh underneath. Like, how do you do that? Anyway, I look at that, and then the next morning they posted like, "Oh, I feel like shit this morning."
But you know what?
And I get the JOMO.
We did that. We did a lot of that.
I know we did.
All of us did a lot of that.
And it used to be FOMO. I used to
Yeah.
hate missing that. Now I'm like, oh, good. I'm glad I missed it.
It always felt empty to me, but we all still did it. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
It was. I hated myself every morning in my 20s.
I have to tell you, I know you brought up living in the suburbs, and I have an update for you.
You're my neighbor?
A juicy update. Well,
You're my neighbor?
I have a story to tell you.
Okay.
But first, I want to talk about the holidays. Before you got here, I actually am trying to do some shopping online because I'm going to see Fran's family this weekend. They're having a little baby shower for me in Mexico City. I'm so excited. I don't even know what that means. Yeah, but we're going to be there for Day of the Dead as well, and I've never been down there for that. But
you're gonna love Dia de los Muertos.
yeah,
It's
I'm excited. But anyway, so I'm trying to get gifts for them, and Fran sucks. I'm like 3 weeks ago. What do they want? What can I get them? Da, 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 da. So point is, I'm going to my go-to. I've gotten on FrameBridge, and I'm going to do this for the holidays. This is what I did for Candy last year. She loves this gift so much. And I think if you struggle to get gifts for people, giving the gift of like memories framed, no better gift than that. It's so simple, so affordable. FrameBridge makes it so easy. They have so many great options too. Not only are all the kind of cool product shots and stuff I've done for Fitish, they're hanging all over the office. And I'm sure you've seen if you follow me on social media, every single one has been done by FrameBridge. I gave Candy a ginormous framed photo of us last year. Really, really cute. But you can also frame memorabilia, jerseys, stuff that, the guy in your life would really love.
Guys, don't try to frame your jerseys yourself. It's not.
No, and I'm telling you, you're going to end up paying like hundreds and hundreds of dollars if you try and take it to one of those local framing stores. And why? You don't have to leave the house. You can just send this to them, or you can just upload a photo when you go to framebridge.com. Their prices start at $39. All shipping is free. Plus, all of the listeners of our Fitish podcast are going to get 15% off your first order when you go to framebridge.com and use the code FITISH. That's framebridge.com, and the code is FITISH. They actually have some stores in major cities, which is super cool, but we don't live in New York or DC. So just go online, upload a photo. I mean, you can even do an iPhone photo and it will tell you your limitations so it doesn't distort, like certain iPhone photos, you'll be shocked. If it's a good quality iPhone photo, you're going to be able to get a huge print out of that.
If you got a new phone, chances are you're going to be able to get a really good picture out of that.
Frame some photos as a gift. Go to framebridge.com today and be sure to use that promo code FITISH to get an additional 15% off your order. Framebridge.com, and that promo code is FITISH. I love it. I'm getting more stuff for the holidays as well.
The point of getting a gift for someone is that they remember you all the time. They're always going to look at those pictures and be like, Jenna.
I know. I think you get more sentimental too as you start to have these moments. I keep thinking like, gosh, I need to do something. Like I haven't taken enough photos to kind of document this, but I have a bit of a life update. And
if you tell me we're about to be neighbors, I'm going to be so pumped.
Okay.
So she gave me the touch on the shoulder. That means I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, not exactly. So I know I've mentioned, me wanting to nest more and like get a house. Fran and I live in a townhome, one that I actually had rented some years ago. And it's great. It's spacious and nice and there's nothing wrong with it.
Can I tell you my beef with townhomes?
What?
Real quick before you go.
Please make me feel even worse.
This is my beef with townhomes, okay? Why are they called townhomes and not city homes, right? Because they're in the city most of the time. So just call them city homes. That way we all got it all squared away. Everything's fine. Townhomes, I'm thinking outskirts. I'm thinking out there. I need trees and forests. Okay. That's my beef with townhomes. Thank you.
Oh, that's your only beef?
Yeah.
Okay, well, my beef, and I'm sure I can find the answer for that. I'm sure it goes back in time to how they named it. But it's 3 levels, I have a bedroom on the bottom floor, which just wouldn't be good enough for a nursery. And, there's just things about it that I'm getting in that nesting mood. I haven't bought a house before. I've been in the mood. We all know right now, especially if you live in Texas, it's like absolutely the worst time.
You want the baby
to try and buy a house.
You want baby in level 3 because you want it to make it as difficult as possible for kidnappers. Level 1, easy. That's why it's called level 1, right? Easy.
No, it's
level
not
2,
just that. It's that I'm on level 3. Like the master,
you don't
the
wanna go
master
up.
bedroom's
Gotcha,
on level
gotcha.
3.
Yeah.
So look, there's plenty of issues. Then again, it's a newborn, and we've met with the night nurse that we're hiring, and she's like, it's fine. Like the baby can sleep. Is going to sleep in your room for a while. I'm going to be one of those. Don't judge me. Like I have friends that are like, the baby has to sleep in its own room. I'm like, no, that baby's probably going to sleep next to me for a while. Anyway. I still get alerts. Fran has a setup that I get alerts from like everything hitting the market in this like wide range, because we're kind of going, do we want to get like very low budget for us and
starter?
Fix it up?
A little starter.
Yeah. Home? Well, no, like a flip, really, like something that we would actually fix up and live in and then sell. Or, do we want it like totally knocked out, like top end of our budget? And so anyway, I get all these updates, and it kind of lost its luster to me after the 2 offers I had put in over the past 6 months in this market. Like, I don't know if I told you, but the last one I lost because someone ended up offering like 100 over, no inspection, Well, and I was bummed because I liked the house, but I got over it. Well, so I'm at work at the end of last week, and I still look at all these listings because I get an immediate alert when it hits the market. And so I get it. I open it up. I love it. It's like, it looks great. Fran makes an appointment for like an hour later. So I think we were like the second people to see it.
Sloppy seconds. All
put
good.
Put an offer in.
All just like that, huh? Okay.
Not only did I put an offer in, I did what caused me to lose the last one. I went a disgusting amount over.
100? Just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, but
like
not far off, honestly.
Yeah, because what's going to go on.
I
in this
went
market.
way over, and the house was in budget for me, but I went way over. I mean, even way over, it was still like in my budget, which was great.
You made them an offer they can't refuse.
No inspection, no contingency, like the totally ridiculous. And Fran's like, Jenna, nothing about this is, he said nothing about buying a house right now is smart, but I know you want one, and we're not going to lose money on it after a few years because it was in a good neighborhood across from a good school. Anyway, we knew they were going to get a lot of offers. They had like a dozen showings that day that we saw it. And so they did we had to wait until Saturday night, like best and final offer by Saturday. But the agent was being very responsive to Fran because he was like, okay, we're just going to take off all these contingencies. We're going to pay, this, and this, like all these extras. We didn't want to offer so far over that it didn't, because if it doesn't appraise, it's just not going to make sense.
Are you paying closing?
Oh yeah, all of it.
Oh, damn, girl.
All of it.
Closing costs they're assholes.
So I don't know. I think anyone that's tried to buy a house before, you have those moments of like, you just find it. Like, you're just like, this is it. Like, you just felt like us. We sat in that house for an hour, and I can usually walk through a house in 10 minutes and be like, I like it or no. No, we just like walked in every room. We were like, we could do this. We could do this. It was just amazing. Whoever did this, had bought this house in March of 2020 for like on the way cheap. And I don't even think lived in it. They flipped it. They redid it completely, but it was totally our mid-century vibe, like everything we wanted, but redone. Like we could have moved in and we didn't even have to paint. Like it was like done.
That redone.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. That's what, yeah.
We didn't get it.
Shut the hell up.
Get it. I'm so upset.
What the hell is going on here?
I offered that much over and all of that shit, and we didn't get it. And I literally burst into tears. So fucking stupid. I feel like.
What the hell?
We found out Saturday night. We didn't think we were going to find out till Sunday. So I'm kind of sleeping, and I heard Fran just like put his phone down, and it kind of woke me up. I was like, what's wrong? He's like, I think he like didn't want to tell me because I had been sleeping. He's like, we didn't get it. And I don't know what came over me being pregnant too. I just like burst into tears.
Hormones, Jenna.
He was sad too, which is weird because Fran doesn't, he doesn't get that. I mean, he's in real estate, so he knows how this goes. And it's difficult because the agent, we didn't have any connection. We didn't like know these people, and I don't really know the process. He's like, I was like, do you think they told someone else like what we offered? He's like, you're really not supposed to do that.
Yeah,
like,
that's illegal.
Like you really can't do that. I was like, yeah, but what if they knew and he's
you can
like,
tell people are offering over asking, but you can't say like how much.
So the only way we're going to find out what exactly happened is, I mean, maybe they offered cash to close immediately, but I was pre-approved, like all this shit. So
tell me you found out where the fuck they live and you showed up their house. You know, how the fuck you get this house?
I know where they're about to live.
You should have gone out there with your little pregnant belly and been like, I don't have a house now for my baby.
Live.
Yeah.
So
that's what I would do. I'm like, look at my wife. She has no place to live because of you.
I know it's not as much that I know this is ridiculous, and anyone that's tried to buy a house, it's like, oh, you're lucky you can even buy a house or da-da-da-da. And it is what it is, and I know it's not as much my grief isn't as much that there won't be another house. Of course there is. We live in a huge city. Like there will be other houses like this. I've
this
liked
close to
other
me?
houses before. It was closer to you than we are now. It was by it was at the toll road and Walnut Hill. So not that
my old
close to
neighborhood.
you,
Okay.
but kind of.
Yeah, we're talking local here. Okay. Yeah, that was close. That's not bad. That's like 20 minutes from me.
I'm so hurt though. I
should
really
be.
loved it. So, but
That
it's
sucks.
more, I think why I'm upset and so defeated is not, again, I know I'll find another house I like. And the more time you sit on it, maybe the market gets better, you save more money. All of those things are great because that's a huge expense to come around the holidays and you're having a baby. But it's more that knowing without saying, just taking my word, that, like how much over I offered and all of the things we included that I still didn't get that house is mind blowing. And that means I'm never going to get a house. Like I will not get a house that hits the market if we're competing against people.
Not in that area.
No, I won't get a house. So my stepmom threw out a good point. She said, Jenna, why don't you do whatever that company did? Why don't you find a house that's way below budget, put all the rest of the money into the house and make that house? Like do what you did. So that's kind of now, and I know that sounds like a nightmare being pregnant and doing it, but
because that house was already done. That's why.
yeah,
you know,
but at least we'd get to
you get to do it and
pick some
your
of the
own
things
stuff.
that we liked. But again, I've
man.
never done that before. Fran's done that plenty. It scares me a little bit because it's like to do your first house that way. It's like,
No, it's
how
actually-
long does it take? And
half
a year,
maybe,
if we were really to like
Depending-
redo the inside.
So listen, you got to take into consideration the materials you got to get. Lucky for you, lumber, which was crazy high last year, is now back to reasonably priced. But there's things that are getting stuck because not everything's getting to the United States as fast as it should be. You know how business is going. It's tough to get everything when you need it in a certain amount of time. So the time, something that could take you maybe a month or 2 months, maybe 3 months to complete right now is taking people twice as long just because of that, just because of materials.
6 months, 6-7 months, I guess wouldn't be the end of the
Maybe
world,
longer.
right? Because I could stay where I'm at.
Yeah,
we could
yeah.
do that and then move in the summer. And, at that point, the baby's only 6 months old. So I'm sure he'd be fine. But
Man, that sucks. Have you expanded your search into, I don't know, my neck of the woods, perhaps?
no, I found something like right over 635, which is an interstate that we joke. And
still
when you all live in Dallas, you know, but he's like, Fran doesn't, a lot of people that live in Dallas joke that they don't want to live over 635 because you consider that like really long distance, which is so ridiculous because I just want a great house. Like I just want a house that will hold good value or, it increase in value and that we really like the style of. I'm surprisingly, I think most people think I'd be the picky one. I want to live in this zip code. I'm really not. I'm flexible. I just want a house that feels like really great vibes. And Fran's more picky about it. So yeah, we've been
You're
consoling
grieving.
each other. We're grieving.
Sounds like, Jenna, you need to make an appointment with our friends at BetterHelp. That's what it sounds like to me.
They're going to tell me to get over it.
Yeah. Now, BetterHelp is who we go to for therapy. We talk about therapy on this podcast quite a bit because it's important.
Yeah.
And it adds value to our lives because, look, a lot of people have this stigma against therapy. You think, oh, it's only for people that are depressed or broken. No, therapy can be anything you need it to be.
Yeah.
So whether you're dealing with anything at home, issues, anger, maybe a lot of anxiety, maybe you just didn't get a house that you really wanted like Jenna, and you just need somebody to talk to because you feel extremely emotional. BetterHelp can help you out with that. It's customized online therapy that offers video, phone, even live chat sessions with your therapist. Now, you could be matched with a therapist within 48 hours after signing up with BetterHelp. And the best part about BetterHelp is that if you're hurting for money, and a lot of us are during this pandemic, it's affordable. And that's the number one thing that a lot of people are looking for. It's something that's affordable. I'm not going to waste too much money, and it's going to be something that I look forward to. And I actually have one that I'm going to be doing this week.
What?
Yeah, I will tell you about that. It is a little bit sad, but I need to talk to my friends at BetterHelp because I am going through something right now. So if you want to try out BetterHelp, you could try it. Fiddish listeners, you'll get 10% off your first month if you go to betterhelp.com/Fiddish. That's BETTERHELP.com/Fiddish. I love BetterHelp. And yeah, I do have one slated
Scheduled
for this week.
Why? What's going on?
So I feel weird talking about this because I lost someone, a really good friend of mine that I never met in person. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's funny, Jenna, because I was actually looking back, and we talked about this on the radio show. I play video games, and I play this game called Fortnite.
Yeah. And when we used to tease you about your young friends.
So I started playing. At first, it was little kids, and then eventually, I met men. I met people that were my age.
Reaper and Marmar
Were kids. Reaper got grounded, and Marmar obviously stuck with his homeboy, and I never played with them.
But you met age appropriate.
I met age appropriate players, and these were people that were in similar, stages of life. That I met. A couple guys that were getting married, a guy that was finishing college, and I've seen these guys go from one guy college, engaged, now married, bought his first house. Another guy just married, pregnant, had his baby. Now it's like I've watched his kid grow up as we play. Another one, the one that I played with the most, I would say, because he would be on during the days when I'd get off work.
And you wear the headset, like you talk to them.
You talk to these people, right? So he sent me a message and said, "Hey man, I really could use a friend. Would you mind playing with me?" And I said, "You know what, man? Sure. I don't really have that many adults that can play in the middle."
And this was a while ago. This was when you first met.
3 years ago. This was 2018 when I met this person. His name's Nick. He sent me a request, and out of all the ones that I see, I didn't get to see all of them, but I saw that one, and I took him up on it, and we started playing every day together. I spent about an hour to an hour and a half every single day, Monday through Friday.
That's a lot of gaming.
Nick. A lot of gaming, right? And but for me, it's my de-stressor.
Yeah, I get it.
It's like we get off of work, and it's, you got a lot of things going on, and you just kind of want to shut life out and just not worry about anything. And I got to know him. He was he struggled with substance abuse, and I actually was with him when he started methadone. That's the medicine to get them off of the drug, and it helps with withdrawals. And he told me all about it, and he told me how he had lost friends to this, and he didn't want to be next. And my son eventually got to start playing and would play with us on the weekends. Yeah, and I finally got to the point where he goes, "Man, I had another friend relapse," and I got close, and I told him, I was like, "Listen, man, if you ever fall back, I can't be attached to you like that, man, because I've seen you be such a champion and you're a success story, and I can't see you fall back. So if you ever touch that stuff, bro, I'm out." And he said, I believe you. And I said, "I got my son that looks up to you. Like, Kason loved this guy. He would play with him without me sometimes." And unfortunately, he got engaged and was doing so well, and I got hit up on Friday by his ex. They had just separated. They were supposed to get married this past month, and she basically told me he had passed away.
So they had, obviously he had some issues. They broke up, and he had relapsed. They broke up, and he died. I had talked to him. I played with him a few days before he passed, and he didn't give me any inclination or any hints that was going on in his life. He basically was telling me his tooth hurt. He was having really bad toothaches, and which he blamed on that. He said it wrecks your teeth, and unfortunately he didn't have the insurance or the money to go get that done. And in my head I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, I hope he didn't want to treat it just because of the pain. Yeah. And then maybe, but I don't know. It's one of those where you get left with a lot of unanswered questions. I'm sure. But it's so strange that it's like you did, but you do know him. You know what I mean? Oh, big time. Honestly, that's my friend. Like, if you go search guys meeting their gaming partners in real life for the first time. But think about, to talk to someone every day, it's one thing you're just playing with people, but if you're actually wearing the headset, you're engaging with someone every day for over an hour. That's more than you're doing with any of your other dude friends that you see in person on the weekend. You know? I talked to him. Yeah, exactly. He knew a lot of intimate details about my life. I knew a lot of things about his life. We were friends. So we talked about things, and man, I didn't think it would hit me as hard as it did, but it wrecked me. Like, it legit wrecked me. It's so awful. I can't imagine, having that level of addiction, or being with someone and being friends with someone. Because I know probably almost everyone listening knows someone or has, you're 1 degree separated of someone, if it's not you, that's dealing with that. And it has to be so frustrating and so difficult. And if you're one of those people that is a champion right now, and you're a success story, and I know it pulls you sometimes, and whatever it may be, it could be alcohol, it could be anything, there's different addictions, and it's always pulling at you. But just know that
God, you're going to be so missed. Just one and going back in and you think you could do what you were able to do before the same amount. And that's what you end up doing. And that maybe is too much for your body at the time. You might be in a better place and not in pain anymore, but the pain that is left behind, all the messages I see, the two little kids he was helping raise, like think about people before that should be your power. That should be what keeps you away from those things.
It's so hard because I get it. You know, I think a lot of times when people, and I know drug addiction in a way, people have a hard time classifying if it's suicide sometimes when they overdose, because it's not always, you know, it's just, but in a way it is. It's like a long form of suicide when you're abusing
you know
drugs
what you're
like
doing.
that.
Because I could tell you he was happy to be alive. I can tell you that. And he told me often he was excited.
And it's always the relapse, isn't it? Because when they go off of it, but gosh, there's
he was fighting wildfires, Jenna. He was getting back into working. He had just gone on. He was happy. He was happy with where he was going in life. Even though he had a couple things go wrong, it wasn't like he was, woe is me. That's what hurts, is that I knew that that's not what he wanted.
I know it leaves such a hole, but I think when you're so I hate to say self-involved, but when you're suffering so much with depression or addiction or some sort of pain, I know like you don't think about other people. I think you kind of justify that you're not, your life isn't very valuable, that other people are better off without you. But seeing that, I mean, I recently, you know, someone close to me lost a relative to suicide, and it's been really difficult. And I know kind of that seeing, you know, the emotions that they've gone through, you're so mad. You're so mad at this person for doing that, you know, because then you're left with all the pieces and all this pain and all these questions and guilt and like all of these feelings that you have when someone takes their life. It's just awful.
And you know, I didn't know how Kinsey was going to respond to this. Because she thinks, you know, a lot of people, if you don't understand games, she thinks video games, how stupid is that? You've never met this person. But I think she saw us talking all the time, and she saw how many laughs we had and how happy I was when we would play. Even not just him, but with my other buddies. I have like 4 guys that I play constantly with. He was one of them.
Do you know like what he looks like?
Yeah.
You've seen him?
I've seen him. We FaceTime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like we did like, we would do Instagram face.
Where does he live? Long distance?
In Oregon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the hardest, I cried. I literally had a hard ass cry on Friday, like bad, like can't control cry. And Kinsey held me, and I didn't look at her ever and go like, oh, she thinks I'm freaking weird. Like I didn't know this guy in person, but I knew him. She held me. She actually understood that it was an actual friendship. And I told her the thing I was scared of the most was having to tell Kaysen. Because Kaysen played with him all the time. And surely he would, you know, we usually play on the weekends early in the morning, and he'd be like, where's Toxic? You know, we go by our screen names. So I had to tell him that Saturday.
Oh, it's good though. I mean, kids need to know, right?
Yeah, and I told him he's no longer with us, but I caught my son going on his PlayStation, and the shitty part about this is that you could see his name. Yeah. And then next to it says last played together. Yeah. And it tells you. So every day I log on from here on out, and I will not do this, I will never delete them. It'll always say his name and last played a week ago, 2 weeks ago, until eventually it just expires. But man, it hit hard. So if anybody out there is going through this, I feel you. If you're struggling, please don't fall back. Please get help. There's so many people that need you on this earth. Even if you don't feel like you have people that need you, I guarantee you, he had a dude thousands of miles away that deeply cared for this guy and cried because it hurt that bad. So please think before you do.
I'm so sorry about that.
My little PSA. And so I funny that I'm glad that we have BetterHelp to help us out with that, because I reached out and I felt weird. Sounds like I lost a friend, and I'm going to feel weird telling them I've never met them before, but I know they're very well equipped to help me out with that and to, you know, escort me along this process of mourning. So do you all have anything to look forward to? As a family, are y'all going anywhere or? Not right now. Are you going to Disney World? No, we don't know. You still don't know? Yeah, we're still. Isn't that like a week away? Oh, kids. Yeah, we're still. I'm still waiting to hear back on what's going on with the meetings. I know. Listen, we live in a time right now where where you're damned if you do, damned if you don't
Right.
with certain things, right? And so we just got to weigh the pros and the cons, and then try to come up with the best possible solution and the best plan of action. And I think that's what we're doing. I think we're just looking at every little detail.
I get how, I mean, just my opinion, and I'm no longer on the show, but I get like going on Kids in my opinion, and I could see the doctor's perspective. It's a wonderful trip, but I do feel that it would be kind of in poor taste because you're going to, especially a place like Florida where like they do not require masks and vaccines at all. And you have terminally chronically ill kids
Right.
that are just like much more susceptible, you know, it'd be like a whole bunch of like unvaccinated pregnant women, you know, going somewhere together and touching things and being around each other. It is, I mean, it would just be, and you could go and be totally unscathed, you know, or you could let the families go and let them make their own decision, because then you weigh it like, well, what happens if our child isn't going to live another year or two and they want to have this experience, but it would just the weight of, and that's how I felt for so long doing, a lot of people have wanted, and on a different scale, much smaller, but like doing events up here at the office, which is what we always wanted to do. And last year just didn't feel right. Like we were going to have a Halloween party and I'm like, how would I feel? You know, I know other people are doing it. That's fine. Other businesses are doing it. Other people, families make decisions to go on vacation. That's fine. But as a company, you know, it's just a different thing, you know, because if someone did get sick or then gave it to a relative or just something happened, you'd feel responsible.
That's the optics of it, right? Optics is something you'll hear a lot in business. I know you hear about optics all the time, and the same in our workplace. But the thing we do have going is we have an incredible staff of doctors and nurses that look into every possible detail when it comes to this. As of now, the doctors say, and they feel very confident that this would be a safe trip for these kids to take. But at the same time, as safe as doctors and people that are involved in that science may feel, there's still that, but what if?
What if the one?
But what if? You know, there's always a what if, and that's what we're looking at. So that's why we're still, right now, as of now, we still have it slated, but anything can change. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, yeah, I know. I went to Seattle. I'm going to go to Mexico City. Fran and I are going to do our little baby honeymoon thing.
In Seattle, did you see that bubblegum wall? I've always been...
Yeah, the gum wall.
Yeah, that thing.
It's a thing.
It weirds me out.
It is weird. It's massive.
I see so many people...
You haven't been, right, to see it?
I have not been to Seattle, but I've seen people that take pictures like licking it and people that like touch it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like...
No. They're probably putting their own gum. Because that's what you do. I don't think they're licking other people's gum. They're putting their own gum and then licking it, which is still gross.
Still gross because
it's massive in an alley, but it's right in.
What's it smell like?
It doesn't smell. Well, it kind of smells like garbage down there because it's in like a wet alley. So, and it's right by the Pike's Place Market. So, but Bran actually enjoyed Seattle. He thought it was great. I will say on the way when we left, you know, we talk about shipping delays and the importance of like ordering holiday presents right now and all these issues. Do you see it? I mean, you see the news, but I think, you know, living in Texas, we don't have most of the shipments we're getting, it kind of depends, but like are coming from, you know, California. Like if you're getting stuff from overseas, right? It's getting into a port in California. Or, you know, I joked with my girlfriend about like, how's their Amazon Prime in Seattle? Because, you know, Amazon's based there. She's like, everyone in Seattle, it seems like, works for Amazon. And so on the way to the airport, our Uber driver was taking us a different way along the water. I have never in my life seen so many shipping containers. You know, you see ports like that, and Seattle is a major one, and you'll see like hundreds of these big shipping containers, right? And most of us have seen them before, like if you've been in Miami or anywhere like that. But JC, I'm telling you, miles and miles and miles, there had to have been like tens of thousands of shipping containers just sitting. And I think
probably what my Halloween costume is.
I swear, like I just seen it with my own eyes, the massive amount of containers like that just sitting there, because, you know, that's been the problem. It's not that things aren't getting over. It's that there's no one it's like labor shortages, right? So there's no one to unload them. And then there's a shortage in truckers. So then there's no one to transport them. I mean, I've been waiting on a certain product that we're about to launch, and we would have launched it like a month ago, but there were delays and then delays overseas. And then I just found out that it's on a truck right now, but it's coming from New Jersey. Like that's where it was manufactured after the packaging came over. And I'm like, shit, like how long is that truck going to take? Cause sometimes they work on the weekends. At least it's on a truck, which now we know, but then, you know, and then it's up to my team to unload it off the truck, you know, and I'm a much smaller business. So imagine on another scale, you know, when someone has a lot of stuff.
Go in the little garage here
and
you unload the truck.
No, not here.
Got it.
No, I have two other warehouses.
Okay.
So I have one far up north where like all the stuff gets
Because I
sent
come
to.
here and you guys are all dressed to the nines every time, and I'm like, I could just picture you guys in
hard
awesome-
hats, unloading
hard hats with your awesome outfits,
pallets
on.
of
Just
product.
looking like models with some hard hats, unloading a bunch of big ass boxes.
We toyed with the idea for a while during COVID, like instead of getting another space, because we have, I mean, it's almost 5,000 square feet in here. I wanted to make this like a pop-up gym, but then with COVID, we were like, well, we're not utilizing this at all. We don't need it all for office space either. So we did think about making this storage,
Oh, I thought you were gonna
because
say
we do have
strip
a
club.
loading dock. No, but speaking of, I'm going to get to that in just a second. That's how we're going to end the show today.
Oh, you got a strip club story?
You'll remember when I tell you.
Okay.
But no, I tell you all that about the shipping containers because I'm turning into such a mom, but I'm like, you need to order Christmas presents right now. Like order from Fitish as always, order from Fitish, order just like whatever. But, we're going to get to that Black Friday period of time and that'll be a big time, I'm sure. If people even have stuff available. But I love online shopping and I love this recent brand of jewelry I got to try that's now a sponsor of the Fitish podcast called Ana Luisa. And I actually let some of the girls that work for me, I try to be a good boss.
Oh, you treated them?
I treated them.
Oh, look at you. I treated my daughter and Kinsey.
I had them pick some stuff out. Yeah, I had them pick some stuff out from Ana Luisa because this stuff is just awesome. So, they're doing new releases every week, kind of small collections. So you're not going to have a lot of repetition with the jewelry. And this is the kind of jewelry I love. A lot of times y'all will ask me like, Jenna, where's that gold ring from? Or where are those little earrings from? I love the kind of jewelry that you can wear all the time and not have to take off,
And it's affordable. Because my daughter saw 2 necklaces, Jenna, that she liked. And I told her, pick one. She saw 2. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to treat my
I'm
girl.
glad you brought up the pricing. Fair prices is of the utmost importance to Ana
Big
Luisa.
time.
The jewelry is starting at just $39. Again, new collections are released every single Friday. Ana Luisa, just so you know, is spelled ANALUISA. So when you go to shop.analuisa.com, again, that's shop.analuisa.com/Fitish, use the code Fitish, FITISH. You're going to get an additional 10% off. Again, that's a great savings because the jewelry already starts at $39. This is so great. I mean, I had, like you talked about, Chloe had a necklace. We got a bunch of different pairs of earrings, little gold hoops, stuff that it's just good. Just take
Stuff
my
you
word
can wear
for it.
every day, like everyday stuff. But then you could also get those accent pieces for like, if you got a nice little date night.
But do it now.
Do it now before
Do
it's
the
too
holiday
late.
shopping now, and then you can kind of rest easy and go, wow, I already got everything I need for the
Done.
holidays. But this is really perfect. Again, that's shop.analuisa.com/Fitish. The code is Fitish for that extra 10% off. And new stuff every Friday. So
Yeah.
go check it out this weekend.
Use the hashtag Ana Luisa when you get your jewelry and show us what you're looking like. Because we want to see what's up.
Yeah. Send me a photo. Let me see. Okay. So changing gears again. We should start finishing the podcast this way every week with our reviews. Do you remember the last one we did? I talked about going to Crazy Horse in Paris, which is a burlesque club, right? So you have Moulin Rouge, you have Crazy Horse. There's another one called Lido. And so I was going to buy tickets for Fran and I to go to this dinner show. It obviously seems very overpriced, champagne, probably very average food, but a very sexy show, like almost fully nude. But I've heard it's very classy. And you were like, well, isn't Crazy Horse like a strip club name? And you're absolutely right. Because then my weird memory goes, I think it's like the most famous one in Vegas. And so
Crazy Horse sounds like if you say it fast, it's not the animal. Like there's going to be some crazy, very slutty people.
Crazy Horse. So, all right. So we printed off the reviews.
Oh, yes.
Now, what's funny is I found these on the printer because our producer had printed them off. And it made me, before I realized what this was, a week after we recorded our podcast, I thought all of y'all were telling me not to go to Crazy Horse in Paris. So I canceled. So I'm going to read reviews
Hold on,
for
bro.
the Crazy Horse Gentlemen's Club in Las Vegas.
Who the hell goes home, right? Tell me which dudes are leaving a strip club. And I'm going to be honest here. You only write reviews when you hate something, right? It's when you're pissed off. Who gets so pissed off at a strip club that you have to go to your computer and keyboard warrior that shit and write a review? We're about to find out.
I don't know what people expect at a strip club, but if you're curious, Crazy Horse has 3.6 stars.
Out of 5?
Yeah. And it's mostly based on someone saying it's because the girls are mostly threes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't it called Crazy Horse 3
I
Gentlemen's
paid
Club?
$80 for 2 drinks. Oh, I got a water and a beer. This club is set up for failure, a complete scam. I love this one. I got COVID here. No fucking shit, dude.
Well-
You go during a pandemic to a strip club and you're surprised you get COVID.
You could get Kroger at the freaking grocery store, my guy.
He wrote this a month ago. He said, I got COVID here and I'm still sick. Stay far, far, far away. This place has become the worst. So he's been there multiple times.
And how do you know you got it there? Because surely you were walking around the casinos too, and you were around a bunch of other people. So
Absolutely terrible. Fake money. Well, I don't know what that means. People, what, fake money?
funny money.
What's funny money? I'm disturbed if you can't.
How the hell do you know this shit? Strip club.
I'm still confused. Funny money?
You use funny money and then you exchange it for real money later on, right? You go in, buy it, and you throw it to the strippers, and the strippers can change it. Oh,
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that
I'm
was
gonna
a
walk in there with my
thing. So like
Monopoly.
Monopoly money?
I guess so. Funny money. That's funny.
$130 lap dances.
Whoa. Wait, how much are lap dances usually?
I don't know. Let's ask our
Garrett?
producer who seems very familiar.
They don't. Okay. Weren't they like I've gone to a strip club a couple times. One time for Kinsey's birthday, and if I remember correctly, I think they were like for like $20-25 at the one we went to.
Terrible place. Do not go. When I wanted the lap dance to stop, they started taking money from my wallet. I mean, I think that's just
Stealing.
good.
No,
strippers.
that's stealing. That is stealing. If you're
They're
removing,
entrepreneurial.
if you get my wallet out, Jenna, and you remove a dollar bill, you robbed me.
They're borrowing it.
That's not. No, they're not.
Save your money and go to Little Darlings instead. Full nude and reasonable girls with reasonable prices. Why is the other place named Little Darlings? I mean, that sounds like a baby pageant.
See, I don't want to go.
Darlings?
I'm not going anywhere that says little in front of it.
Little Darlings.
And like, nah, I'm not about that. Now, I found out what the difference between a full nude and a regular nude strip club is. Full nude is 18 and up, I believe, if I remember correctly, and you can bring alcohol. The other one is 21 and up because they serve alcohol, if I remember correctly. Because I had the questions.
Wait. Full nude is 18 and up?
Yes.
And partially nude is 21 and up?
Because we did that when I was in high school. We went to that's what the guy told us. So we could only get into that. And it was not good.
Not good.
And I saw a girl that was in class with me. It was awkward at school the next day.
I went to a bunch of strip clubs when I first moved to Dallas because, I was like trying to be fun with my group of friends. I'm like, oh, this is fun. Went to a bunch of strip clubs. Yeah, I guess. But I remember we brought our own mixers, I think.
Yeah.
Because they were so expensive.
BYOB.
So
you could
someone
do that.
like loaded my purse up with, like soda and tonic and Sprite. And I'm like, okay.
My review is my first hockey game. I went to a hockey game with Kinsey, or it's her first hockey game. And I sat on the glass, Jenna.
Oh, yeah. And that's so fun.
Real quick, if you ever have a friend that invites you to sit next to the glass at a hockey game, I'm never probably going to get this again, but that was the coolest. I could smell them.
I know.
I could smell them. They would whiff by. And then about 2 seconds later, it hits you in the mouth. It's like,
Yeah.
I was like, I looked at my boy. I was like, did you fart, bro?
You feel the ice and the sweat.
Yeah, I jumped.
I've gotten to do this a handful of times, but
Yeah, I know.
back in my heyday, I went out with some hockey players. So that was the perk.
Yeah. Man, you could, I don't know how they get that smell off of their skin.
Yeah, they're pretty gross. Hockey players are just the most like masculine, like rough. I don't know. It's just a whole nother level, which I wouldn't think I'd like because it's like very caveman.
But they're man-like, dude.
But there's something about it. Yeah, like they get their teeth knocked out and then they're back in the game in a few minutes. And I'm like, there's something that's just very like aggro and hot about it.
One of the guys was doing like a promo video, like, you know how they do that on the Jumbotron? And like my man decided to keep his teeth out. Like for the video, for the marketing video, he had his teeth out and goes talking like that. If you want to win some shirts, you can get them.
Yeah, my girlfriends and I went through a phase that we would just like run into hockey players. We would always know because we'd be at a nice restaurant in Dallas on like a Friday night and we'd see guys that are like, because a lot of them are like pretty hot. But then we're seeing them and they like don't have teeth. Yeah. And we're like, oh, we started catching on like, these are hockey players, I
was talking to a freaking legend. Didn't even know it.
Yeah.
I was talking to a legend. I was talking to this dude. Good looking ass dude, looking like a salesman. If he was selling me a car, I would have bought it on the spot. That's
he
how
was
good
retired now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they usually get their teeth fixed like after they're done playing.
He was awesome. And my wife was talking to his wife, and we were all buddy. And I just thought it was just I literally looked like a super businessman, like a super rich dude. And then my boy goes, you know who that was, right? And I said, no, who was that? And he goes, that was Marty Turco.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, the goalie, Marty Turco?
Yeah. He's a good looking guy.
Yeah. I was like, oh, he was super nice. I was expecting a beard, missing teeth.
Right.
Some sort of scar all over his face. No, he was.
Some of them get hit worse than others. Yeah,
not him. He's pristine.
I love hockey games, and it's so funny because I didn't grow up around hockey. I still don't 100% understand all the rules, which is funny because I do with almost every other sport. Like I know basketball, football, soccer so fucking well. Even baseball, I know better, and I don't even like baseball. Yeah. Hockey, I mean, it moves so fast, but it is the one sport for me that in person. Like I don't like watching it on TV. It's hard to follow the puck, but a hockey game in person is so fun. Like the music and the action. I love in person hockey.
5 out of 5.
Yeah. 5 out of 5.
Yeah. That was my review for the hockey game.
Oh, good.
Go.
5 out of 5.
Yeah. What the puck?
Don't you remember when we were going to be ice girls?
No. You were going to be a nice girl. I was going to be a nice boy.
No, it was only going to be funny if a guy did it with me. They were going to set us up. Someone that we knew on the team was going to set us up for like charity to go. Yeah. I was so horrified at the thought of it. I just got us out of it.
I was scared. I was like, what if you fall? I'm like watching these girls.
Ice skate and wearing those outfits.
Yeah. I'm like, what if I fall? Get a little ice rash on my ass? No.
No. Oh, well, that's fun. I need to go to a hockey game this year too. That was fun.
Yeah.
I feel like Fran, like knowing my past, he like wouldn't like to go to a hockey game, you know, like because one of them doesn't play here anymore, so I feel like that's fine. A pass. But,
he gone.
But Fran's like, oh, you want to go to a hockey game? Like he's still that type of guy. I think that thinks that I want to go to a hockey game because I like went out with one of the guys. I'm like, no, I just like hockey's fun, and we're gonna have a boy, and we can take him to hockey games.
Yeah.
But again, Fran's not big into sports.
Little Fran Jr. See, you know that is. Oh man!
All right,
that does it.
Okay.
All right, we got ourselves in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
I'm in trouble now. Bye.
No, you're not.
See you next week.